the muffin here. Another subscriber request for the E4. Decided to do just little tips and tricks mixed in with it. I have a tips and tricks playlist, so if you're struggling with a tank, shoot over there. Maybe there's a tank you're playing you may be struggling with, and there's a vid I've made that could hopefully help you out. So anyway, diving right into the E4. The E4 is a tank destroyer, not to state the obvious, but with that role, you play a supportive role. So you know I move with my team. I'm paying attention right here to where my team is, where they're going. I'm a slower tank, so I am kind of moving with them, but that is the one thing you have to keep in mind with being a destroyer. You're not going out by yourself. You're not, going rogue or anything like that. You're moving with your team. You're being a support. So here I'm paying attention to my team's lineup. I see I've got a T62 on the way far side. Still, this map's a little newer. I thought maybe he was going to come out where I could get him. And now there's another tank here, and I'm trying to support this Chieftain and this T62 a little bit here. Now I'm guessing this guy's going to move up. He does. Now this is the thing. The E4 does not have as strong of a turret as the T30. So when you're coming off the T30, there is some pretty significant differences. You have easier to pen side cheeks. Your cupola on top is a lot harder. And so I can see how this tank could come across as being more complicated or frustrating because it's very different than the T30. Not saying this tank is not a capable destroyer, it's just you got to play with it a bit differently. So here I'm paying attention to these guys. I'm seeing if they're spotting anything else or not, so I need to move up. I see my other team over on the other side. They've spotted some enemies. So I'm trying to stay close and use the terrain as well as much as possible, because unlike the E3, where my confidence in bouncing rounds is much greater if I protect my lower hull, this thing gets penned a little bit easier. So I have to rely, as I'm moving up and finagling my way through the map, going with my team, being that supportive role, I'm using a little bit more of the terrain. So I don't know if you guys saw my E3 video, but I was very much up in the enemy's face. This tank, like I said, you have to use more of the landscape. You're still being that supportive role, and I want to be able to get myself in situations where I can pop out, take a shot, roll back. Now, here I see the enemy's lineup. I got the T62 over on the left. I've got my enemy my teammate kind of right behind me, supporting, trying to fire at the enemies up here. So I'm trying to get another angle over here. So if these enemies all kind of come over and decide to rush me, I do have some support close by. So I'm still trying to support. I am a little bit more up on the front lines. The team's kind of falling apart here. So there's really not a whole lot you can do, but I'm just paying attention. I'm not tunnel visioning. And I'm always paying attention to where my team is, where the enemy is. I'm being aware of my surroundings. And obviously here, there's not a whole lot I can do. But that is like the one thing about the E4 is, as mentioned, it's very different. The T30 has better gun depression. In my opinion, has a much better frontal turret. Whereas then you jump into this thing, you have weaker side cheeks. Your gun mantlet's pretty good, but those side cheeks can be penned, and that cupola is much easier to pen. Now here, for some reason, got it mixed up where I thought the enemy's lineup had more medium and lights than theirs, but I had that reversed. So I switched back to go and support this side because the enemy has a little bit more heavy. So the chances of them going down are going to be greater. And I've got a team moving this way. And once again, I'm wanting to put myself in that supportive position. Now, here we start detecting a lot more, a lot more of the bad guys. So I've really got to hold off on the aggressive card, and I got to wait for my team to close in. I need to suppress them and hold them off. And I'm using this building as cover and protection. Now that standard B is not, he's playing in a way to only expose his weakness and not utilizing his strengths. He's totally putting himself in a position to rely on his armor, which he doesn't have any. You'll see these guys just get ripped apart. Me and this T95 are doing an excellent job holding off the line while our team is able to close in, and we're able just to completely just finish him off. So you have to kind of know when to advance and when to kind of play that suppressive role. But honestly, like, it's a very capable destroyer, and the takeaways is, one, you got to be you're playing that supportive role as a tank destroyer. You're moving with your team, cautious of your surroundings, pay attention to the map. Don't tunnel vision. Understand where your team is and where your enemies are, and that'll help you know how to position yourself. So anyway, Muffin here, you guys stay cool and keep tanking.